was supposed to be my wedding day. Instead, it became the day my life fell apart. I stood in my bridal gown, staring at my empty bank account. $147. That was all that remained. My wedding fund. Every dollar I'd saved for 6 years had disappeared overnight. I thought it was a bank error, until my younger sister walked into the room, wearing a brand new designer handbag. She smiled. Then she showed me the receipt. She had taken every penny from our joint family account. The account my parents forced me to use because we're family. You should trust your sister. My wedding was cancelled. My fiancé walked away. And my parents defended her. 6 years later, the same sister sat outside my office, holding a resume, waiting for an interview. She had no idea the woman about to interview her was me. My name is Angelina Carter. And this is how my sister's betrayal became the greatest blessing of my life. I grew up believing family always came first. My parents repeated those words almost every day. Blood is thicker than water. Family never lets you down. I believed them. Until the people who taught me those lessons became the ones who broke them. There were only 2 children in our house. Me and my younger sister, Chloe. From the outside, we looked like a normal family. Inside, everything revolved around Chloe. I apologized. If she failed an exam, I was told to help her. If she wanted something, my parents expected me to sacrifice. You're the older sister. Be understanding. Those words followed me my entire childhood. Unlike Chloe, I worked for everything. At 16. By the time I turned 28. Every birthday gift. Every overtime shift. Every sacrifice. It was all there, waiting for the future. Then I met Ethan. He wasn't rich. He wasn't famous. But he was kind. After 2 years together, he proposed beside a quiet lake at sunset. I cried before I could even answer yes. We spent months planning everything together. The venue. The flowers. The music. Life finally felt perfect. One evening, Dad made a suggestion. Instead of opening another account, keep the wedding fund in the family savings account. It's safer. I hesitated. But Chloe can access that account. Dad laughed. She's your sister. You don't think she'd steal from you, do you? Everyone laughed. Including Chloe. I laughed too. That was my biggest mistake. 3 weeks before the wedding, I logged into my banking app. $147. At first, I thought the app had crashed. I refreshed the screen. Again. And again. Same number. My hand started shaking. Then I saw the transaction history. Large withdrawal. Large withdrawal. Large withdrawal. Every transaction authorized with Chloe's card. I couldn't breathe. I drove straight to my parents' house. Chloe was sitting on the sofa, opening shopping bags. Designer shoes. Luxury dresses. Jewelry. A new laptop. Brand name handbags. The living room looked like an expensive boutique. She smiled the moment she saw me. Oh. You found out. I stared at her. Where's my money? She shrugged. I spent it. For a second, I honestly thought she was joking. Tell me this is a joke. It isn't. You weren't using it yet. So I did. I turned toward my parents. Say something. Chloe made a mistake. Dad added. She's young. She'll pay you back eventually. Eventually? My wedding was in 3 weeks. Ethan's family already paid their part. The venue needs the final payment tomorrow. Dad folded his arms. Cancel it. You can get married later. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. You expect me to cancel my wedding? Because she stole my money? Mom looked irritated. Stop shouting. Money isn't everything. I laughed through tears. It wasn't just money. It was 6 years of my life. Chloe rolled her eyes. You always overreact. That sentence changed something inside me. I looked around the room. No one cared. No one intended to fix this. For the first time, I understood something painful. I wasn't losing money. I was losing my family. The next morning, I called every vendor. One by one. I canceled everything. Every phone call felt like another heartbreak. Then came the hardest conversation of all. Ethan. I'll understand if you want to wait. I whispered. There was silence. Finally, he spoke. I don't know if I can. My parents think this is a sign. A sign? They believe marrying into your family will always bring problems. I tried to convince him. I begged him not to leave. But deep down, I already knew. He wasn't just leaving because of the money. He was leaving because he saw the truth. My family would never stop interfering in our lives. A week later, he ended the engagement. I packed away my wedding dress, still covered in its protective bag. I never even got to wear it. That night, I looked in the mirror. I barely recognized the woman staring back at me. Everything I'd planned, everything I'd dreamed about, had disappeared. Because of one person. The sister I'd trusted my entire life. As I closed the closet door, I made myself one promise. One day, no one in this family will ever have the power to destroy my life again. The morning after Ethan ended our engagement, I stood in front of my apartment window. The wedding dress was still hanging behind me. The flowers had been canceled. The venue had been refunded to someone else. My dream was gone. For the first time in my life, I didn't cry. Instead, I asked myself one question. If I can't build the future I planned, what future can I build? That question changed everything. I sold almost everything I owned. The engagement ring. My old car. Even the furniture I'd bought for the house Ethan and I were supposed to share. People thought I was falling apart. They didn't realize I was starting over. With the money I had left, I enrolled in a digital marketing and branding course. Every morning, I studied. Every afternoon, I freelanced online. Every night, I learned business. I kept working. One of my freelance clients owned a small clothing boutique. She loved my marketing ideas. Within 6 months, her online sales doubled. Then she recommended me to another business owner. And another. Soon, I had more clients than I could handle. For the first time in years, people were paying for my ideas. Not because I was someone's daughter. Not because I was someone's fiancé. Because I was good at what I did. 3 years later, I registered my own company. Carter Creative Agency. At first, it was only me. A second-hand laptop. One tiny office. And one big dream. I promised myself something. If anyone ever worked for me, they would always be treated with respect. No favoritism. No excuses. Only hard work. The company grew faster than I ever imagined. One employee became 5. 5 became 20. Then 50. We signed contracts with national brands. Business magazines called me the woman who rebuilt her life. Whenever journalists asked what inspired me, I smiled. Failure. Because failure had taught me everything success never could. 6 years passed. One rainy Monday morning, my HR manager knocked on my office door. "We have interviews today." I nodded. "Send in the first candidate." The door opened. A woman walked in. She looked tired. Nervous. Nothing like the confident sister I remembered. Then she looked up. Our eyes met. "Olivia?" It was Chloe. She froze. "You own this company?" "Yes." She slowly sat down. "I didn't know." I looked at her resume. 5 jobs in 4 years. No stability. No references. No achievements. Just one sentence at the bottom. Looking for a fresh start. A few moments later, another knock came at the door. My HR manager whispered, "Your parents are here." I frowned. They insisted on coming. I invited them in. The moment they entered, they stared around my office. The awards. The glass walls. The city skyline. Mom's eyes filled with tears. Dad looked speechless. "You built all this?" "Yes." He quietly whispered, "I'm proud of you." Those words were everything I'd wanted to hear growing up. But somehow, they no longer mattered. Dad cleared his throat. "Chloe has had a difficult few years." Mom added, "She deserves another chance." I looked at Chloe. Then back at my parents. Silence. "You told me to cancel my wedding. You told me money wasn't important. You told me she'd pay me back someday." Nobody answered. Because every word was true. Chloe finally spoke. "I'm sorry." Real tears rolled down her face. "I was spoiled. I thought you'd always forgive me. I thought Mom and Dad would always protect me." She looked down. "I lost everything. I deserve that." For the first time, there were no excuses. Only regret. I stood and walked toward the window. For years, I'd imagined this moment. I'd imagined making her cry. Making her beg. Making her feel the same pain she'd caused me. But standing there, I realized something. Revenge no longer interested me. Peace did. Our company doesn't hire because someone is family. We hire because someone earns it. I handed her resume back. "Right now, you don't meet our requirements." Her shoulders dropped. "But," I continued, "we have a 6-month internship program. The pay isn't high. You'll report to a manager. You'll start at the bottom. If you prove yourself, you'll have the same opportunity as everyone else." Chloe couldn't believe it. "You'd still give me a chance?" "I'm giving you an opportunity. Not a shortcut. They're very different." She accepted immediately. For the first time in her life, she had to earn something. No special treatment. No family protection. Just work. Over the next 6 months, She arrived early. Stayed late. Accepted criticism. Learned new skills. She slowly became someone I barely recognized. One afternoon, my HR director walked into my office. "Your sister is one of our hardest workers." I smiled. Good. Not because she was my sister. Because she'd finally learned responsibility. A year later, Chloe knocked on my office door. She placed an envelope on my desk. Inside was a cashier's check. $42,000. The exact amount she'd stolen years earlier. Plus interest. She smiled through tears. It took me years. But I wanted to return every dollar. I looked at the check. Then back at her. "You didn't have to." She shook her head. "Yes. I did. I can never give you back your wedding. But I can finally give you back your dignity." A few weeks later, I used that money to create something special. The Evelyn Carter Scholarship. A fund for young women whose education or dreams had been interrupted by family hardship. The first year, 20 women received scholarships. The second year, 50. Watching them succeed brought me more happiness than any wedding ever could. One evening, as I locked my office, Dad stopped me outside. "I've spent years thinking about where we failed," he said quietly. "We always protected the wrong child." I looked at him. He continued. "We thought love meant rescuing Chloe. But real love would have been teaching her responsibility." For the first time, he truly understood. People often ask me, what was the best revenge? Buying a company? Becoming successful? Watching my sister work for me? No. The best revenge. That your future doesn't belong to the people who hurt you. It belongs to you. And every morning, when I walk into my office, I remember the bride who thought she'd lost everything. She didn't lose everything. She simply lost the people who were never meant to walk beside her.